Wake up, Max. It's dark and they're here to take you. Death is knocking on the door with Kalashnikovs and Berettas. It's the same old tune with the same old story. Just a jukebox being played by another bunch of fools. One last dance and you can go to sleep. One last squeeze and you will finally see your loved one. Hello everyone, I'm the Holy Hermit and I welcome you all to another video of mine. Getting back to our good old series where I review games with a unique perspective. This game certainly is a good contender for this series, so today we're looking at Max Payne 3. As the title would suggest, there have been two games in the past with the same name, with the same character even, Max Payne, an American cop, trying to do good with his own flaws, with his own problems, living in a world that is brutal and gruesome, Max always at the center of it. In this time we see the action shifting from North America to South America. The players have changed, but the game still stays the same. Max is always caught in the middle of it, trying to sort things out, trying to make sense of things. Max, after all, is a detective on his own. His job earlier was to solve some problems, being a detective of course, but here things are out in the open, where he has to do a lot more than just solve the crime itself. He fights the crime. The way he does that, quite simply, is by moving from point A to B, shooting people in the process. The whole dark and serious undertone to this game quite simply separates it from any other game in this genre. Max doesn't talk nice, Max doesn't talk in a flowery way, there's something rugged. Max has a rugged feeling to his character, a rough and tough cop who is not scared to get his hands dirty. Max will fight through hordes of enemies with his death-defying stunts, with a grim resolve and a motive to solve the crime in one way or other. Here he is working as a security agent for a rich family. When things go wrong, it's up to Max and Max alone to sort things out, and he does it in a simple way, just through bullets and bullets alone. He doesn't talk very much during fights, but he does talk a lot, and the way Max talks is the most special thing about this game. It's not the way you play it, it's not the way things go in slow motion when you shoot them. It's not even about the story, but it's about Max's interaction with the whole game. He doesn't have very fancy way to say things, he talks about things in the most gruesome way, in the most common way, but in the most applicable way as well. He is in this dark world where things are not right, where you see poverty and richness in the same place, but people not being happy. They take up arms in the process. But Max is not one of those normal good guys or bad guys who takes him out with either joy in his heart or remorse. Max just does what he has to do. He might feel sad for a second or two, he's back up on his feet again with his goal in his mind. Just one goal, one mind and one man. That's Max for you. Imagine a world where you meet a man who has nothing to lose. He's scared of nothing, and he can do anything without any consequences. That's Max for you. A man who tried to kill himself in the game quite a few times. He's not scared to show his human flaws. He drinks a lot to a point where he's about to kill himself. He also got into drugs. Max has certainly seen the underbelly of crime, and that has taken its toll on him. He's working as a security guard, and people he sees around him, the rich people he works for, he does not care about who they are or what they do. He does not even care if they're rich or not. To him, his own morality has died, and he does not want to get it back. Max just wants to pass along days, drinking all the time, to stay in this catatonic state where he has nothing else to lose. But death never comes easy for Max. When Max tried to kill himself and couldn't take his own life, then the enemies he fight in the game have no chance of course. What Max can do is deadly. The skill he possesses is unequal and unparalleled to anyone else. He's one-man army moving from a place to other, wrecking chaos in the process. The game has a very much adult theme to it. It has drugs abuse, it has guns, violence, everything you can imagine for in the game. But it does have a little underlying message in there as well. And that's another reason why I review games like these. What you see on the surface is mere reflection of what the truth is. You do see these flawed characters in the game. That's the best part about the game in my opinion. Where there is no superhero, there is no supervillain. People with different motives. People who are influenced by one thing or other, and their agenda is different from one another. That motivates them to do something good or bad. There is crime here of course, and Max is fighting the crime. But he is no knight in shining armour. He just does what he's supposed to do. He has reached a point in his life where the people he kills around him, he has no remorse over it. He just moves forward, doing his thing, not worrying about the consequences. All he focuses on is getting his goal, getting his objective. That's Max for you again. But a man like him is not born like that. It's the circumstances that made Max what he is right now. He lost his family, his wife and his kid, and here he is in the world with no fear but the only concern of getting drunk. Where can he get his next buzz from, just to get through the day? A man who's given up on everything, but yet still is a hero to some people, hero to the people whose life he saves. What kind of a man loses all hope and still carries on? With no goal, no aim in life, but works a job nonetheless. Does what he's supposed to do, he's good at it. He's better than most people around him. He considers the whole job as his personal responsibility to see it through, even so to risk his own life, which is not a big commodity for Max himself, but enemies would love to take that away from him. All he's good at now is fighting. That's all he can do. Either he's trying to forget what he's done in his past, or he's fighting. But no matter who or what a person is, there is always a justification to what he or she does. Max, I believe, has his own story, his own belief. This would be the final reason why I personally love this game. When he's killing enemies around him, it's a horrible thing to do. Taking life is the worst thing in the world, but Max does it with ease. So what is he seeing when he's pulling the trigger? Is it the face of a person really? I personally don't think so. All he sees is the demons from his past, things he's trying to run away from. If he can't outdrink them, he's going to outshoot them. That's the motivation behind Max Payne. Not an inherently evil person, but his circumstances have made him to a person he would never like to be, yet he's still alive, and he's still standing. This is a story of a man's sorrow. He drowns himself in it. He can't see the shore. He's trying to swim, but the harder he tries, the more he gets pulled down to the bottom of the abyss. But he never gives up. That's Max Payne for you. A man who can't share his sorrows with anyone. He lives on his own. His pain is his own. But what he does for the people around him. People he does not even love. Just for the sake of goodness. Because I do believe that somewhere in his heart he thinks that he can be redeemed in his own way. He does not want to prove himself to a person or other, but just to his own self. Because as the saying goes, the only respect worth having is self-respect. But in the end you would agree with me that this is just a video game after all. So take whatever from it if you must. I'm just here to share my humble opinion, and I hope you like this video of mine. This has been the Holy Hermit for you. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, but more importantly, take care of yourself. I'm out now. Bye.